Hey gang, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of Intuitive Angling. Really appreciate you guys taking some time to watch the video. And got a little bit of a different video today. I'm going to direct this video to the segment of the smartasses we have on the channel here that seem to surface pretty regularly anymore. Anytime that I put out some opinion piece, especially when it has to do with technology or that type of stuff. And I want to address that a little bit as per the title says, about these guys, the smartasses that are making the comments will never be the badasses that some of the guys that came before them were. And I want to sort of get into that a little bit here, what I'm talking about. There's a segment, now here, I don't want to lump everybody because, we've got over 80,000 people that watch this channel, but there's a segment of the population out there, the people that watch this videos here. Most of them, I'm guessing, are in their, it seems like a lot of these fall into when they're in their 30s that they do this. Is any time that I'll bring up something about technology or something about old school or something like that, they get on there and basically goof on it. Show a tremendous amount of disrespect for the people that have been doing this for a long time, pros that have been doing this a long time, basically thinking they're better than they are, and they've got something figured out as far as advancing the sport past to where it's been. Guys, I'm here to tell you guys out here that those people just need to take a seat. And after they've won $2 or $3 or $4 million fishing bass tournaments, and after they've made the grind for 35, 40 years, then they can speak up. But until then, they don't have any place to voice an opinion on the people that came before them. Here's the deal of what I'm basically talking about. And here again, I'm not trying to offend anyone out there other than the smartasses. I don't care if I offend you, but the other people, I'm not trying to offend you. So much of what people know about bass fishing in today's world of fishing is what they've learned from the predecessors that came before that, including myself. I've learned so much from people that came before me. I have a tremendous amount of respect for those people that came before me too. And so many people today in that seems, again, I'm not lumping because if you're in your 30s, don't take this personally, but I'm seeing this from the comments I get. It seems like those people that are in the 30s right now are the ones that fall into that they don't really get that. They don't get that respect, and they don't understand the things that they know about fishing right now are things that they're just reading and learning about. Guys, the old school dudes out there, the OGs that came before you guys, I'm talking about guys in the 60s and 70s, early 80s in the sport of bass fishing. These are the guys that developed the techniques that you're using. They didn't have social media. They didn't have, television. They didn't have YouTube. They didn't have anything out there. They developed these techniques by time on the water, putting in the dirt time, working hard to figure out these particular techniques that have been modified and advanced that you guys are using right now. And that demands a tremendous amount of respect. You're talking about guys that did this that didn't have the advantages, everything that has now. They didn't have GPS. They didn't have any advanced sonar. They didn't have any type of information network to bounce stuff off of. There wasn't any avenues available out there. Back when these guys were developing these techniques, the only thing you had was Field and Stream magazine and Sports Afield, and then Bassmaster came out in the 70s. But there was no one to tell them or point them in the right direction. They were true innovators. They were the ones that, got out there, and they didn't have high-tech clothing to keep them warm or rain gear or something like that. They had aluminum boats that beat their backs to death with 25 horsepower motors and trolling motors on the rear end of the boat. I mean, these are the dudes out there that demand some respect. And it just seems like, to me, I've noticed over the past couple of years since I've been doing the YouTube channel, that those people, those people are just forgotten about. And in my opinion, if you're going to be a bass fisherman today, and especially if you're going to be a competitive bass fisherman, you owe it to the people that came before you to respect and honor those particular people. It's just like any other sport out there. I mean, you guys out there today that are fishing, that are young in your 20s and 30s, I mean, you're standing on the shoulders of these dudes that came before you in the 60s and 70s that figured all this stuff out. And yeah, a lot of you guys like to goof on them now that they're old school and their ways don't work anymore, that type of stuff. But basically, you didn't figure, a lot of these guys that are saying this about that, you didn't figure nothing out on your own. All you did is read about something, or somebody told you about something. You didn't put in the dirt time to figure it out like these guys do. So I just got rubbed a little bit raw over the past week. I've noticed some comments, especially since I've made some comments on LiveScope and that type of stuff. And I'm not talking about, you know, attacking me personally. I don't really care about that. I'm talking about in general, about the people that came before them. They deserve that respect for them. And that's sort of like respecting your elders. That's a good advice for anybody, not just in bass fishing. But I would encourage you guys that are out there right now that think you know everything, go put up your money, get out there and give up everything that you have in your life. Get out there and hit the tournament trail for 35 years. See how easy it is, and you probably change your mind a little bit. And I'd also like to recommend to everybody, do some history, do some research on bass fishing. One of the best things that you can do is follow that Facebook page. Terry Batista has a bass fishing page called Bass Fishing Archives. He keeps that is, to me, is one of the most valuable assets we have in fishing, is Terry's Bass Fishing Archives, because it keeps the past history alive. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for that. I was fortunate enough to be able to meet a lot of those guys. I was fortunate enough to be able to fish with them. And I don't care how I don't want to say backwards, but how much they don't know now compared to what they know then. I would never disrespect any of those guys for paving the way for everybody for the next generation. So anyway, guys, like I said, all you dudes out there that think you know everybody, all you dudes out there that think you know everything and think that nobody can teach you anything that's older than you, like I said, just take a seat until you've put in the sweat, equity, dirt time like these guys that came before you did, and then you'll be able to speak up about it. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Didn't mean it to sound like I was reprimanding anybody, but I just wanted to get that out there. Much appreciated. We'll talk to you guys later.